designated hitter, number 1, Luke Savage. Playing center field, number 23, Corbin Ray. Batting 7th, playing right field, number 15, Cory Skinner. Batting 8th, catching, number 25, Stephen Pursley. Batting 9th, playing left field, number 4, Kyle Helms.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we're going to bring you the next pool play game in the pool here hosted by St. Genevieve. And today we will have the St. Genevieve Dragons against the Arcadia Valley Tigers. This is the number 4 and the number 5 seed matchup today. Both teams played against the Kingston Cougars yesterday. Both had a relatively easy time of Kingston. St. Genevieve winning that game 14-1. Arcadia Valley winning their game 16-0, and I believe combined no-hitter by their pitching staff. Today, as you may have heard Clayton Gegg, the voice of the Baseball Dragons, give you the lineup for the Arcadia Valley Tigers. They are leading off with Trent Russell at second base. Second will be Jake Pryor, who will be pitching today, who just about a week ago pitched against these Dragons on a Dragon 2-1 win down in Arcadia Valley. Third will be their shortstop, Isaiah Gibbs. The cleanup man will be their third baseman today, Tatum Jones. Batting fifth, Eli Vandergriff, who's playing first. Batting sixth will be Luke Savage, who's DHing for the center fielder, Corbin Ray. Batting seventh will be Cory Skinner at right field. Batting eighth, Stephen Pursley catching today. And their ninth place hitter, Kyle Helms, in left field. Dragons today on the mound will have Drew Toombs. Behind the plate, his battery mate, Brian Selby. Across the diamond, Daniel Veit at first. Grant Stavin at second. Brandon Henson at short with Waylon Kemper at third. Left field will be Derek Morgenthaler. Center fielder will be Dalton Giesler. Right field, Brady Boyer. So getting ready to bring this ball game to you. And the first pitch of the game, Drew Toombs to Trent Russell. First pitch is a strike. Drew today coming into the game, I think he's 3-2 on the year. Strike two. Don't have a whole lot of stats here with you. Kind of decided late notice to go ahead and try to broadcast this game, so I'll do my best to give you at least the play-by-play. Ball high to Trent Russell. Makes it a 1-ball, 2-strike count here in the top of the first inning. Again, these two teams met about a week ago down in Arcadia Valley. Very close ball game, which St. Gen came out on top on that one, 2-1. Next curveball by Drew, breaking ball high, makes it a 2-2 count. Next one, throws it by him, and first hitter is a strikeout. That does bring in Jake Pryor. Jake Pryor is a tremendous athlete for Arcadia Valley. Great basketball player. Watched him play this year. Just a great athlete. Heck of a pitcher. Will throw pretty hard. He steps in against Drew. First pitch, breaking ball for a strike. Anytime you can throw that breaking ball when you know that hitter's probably sitting dead red, wanting to find a fastball, and you get a strike on it, that's a good way to start. Next pitch, fastball outside. 1-1 here with one down in the top of the first inning. Have three other games going on today. We do have the Valley Catholic Warriors. I believe they will be playing the Fredericktown Black Cats today. Tosi Trojans will be playing the Farmington Knights. And the North County Raiders will be playing the West County Bulldogs, all looking to find their way into the gold bracket. Drew's falling behind now 3-1. Trying to work that outside corner to the left-handed hitting Jake Pryor. Just a little bit outside. He's going to have to find a way to come into him. And he ends up walking Pryor, putting the man on first. So, again, this is about efficiency. You know, you got to find a way to go out there and let your defense play, and that's, you know, if I could get in Drew's ear right now, that's what I'd tell him is, yeah, Pryor's a good hitter. You know, you want to locate where you're throwing the ball, but also let him put it in play. You have a good defense behind you. That does bring in Isaiah Gibbs, shortstop today, with now a man on first. And there is a strike. Again, starting it off with a strike, that's important. Pryor taking his lead over at first. Daniel Veit holding him on. Again, we have Isaiah Gibbs at the plate. Great job there by Brian Selby to notice that Pryor's off a good ways. Threw it down. Daniel scooped it out. Just couldn't make the tag in time. It was a close play. But now it's a 1-on-1 count. Here we need Drew to focus. He's using the slide step here instead of a big kick to keep Pryor close. And there's fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, so it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count with 1 down here in the top of the first inning. Jake Pryor on first base being held on. He takes off, and that one's just golfed. It looks like hopefully falls out of play behind first base in front of the foul territory in front of Brady out there in right field. But Jake Pryor was taking off on that pitch. Good pitch to take off on. It was a curveball. Gibbs with 2 strikes had to fight that one off. Drew Toombs coming in for the next pitch. Pryor takes off, strikes out, throw down. And it looks like he was out by everybody else except the umpire out in the field had no clue because he was definitely out.
Third base to number 10, Tatum Jones.
So Gibbs does strike out swinging, so that gets 2 out. Pryor did steal. Good throw by Brian Selby. Had him, but did not get the call. Brings in Tatum Jones, today's third baseman for Arcadia Valley, with Pryor now on second base. And Drew starts him off with a strike. Second pitch here to Tatum Jones. Curveball breaks in there. 0-2 count now. Drew has him. Again, 2 down here in the top of the first. Yes, there's a man on second base. We don't want anything too pretty here to Tatum. Tatum's definitely a good hitter. Drew knows him pretty well. They've been to some showcases together. And he drills it in the ground to Selby. Throws down, not in time. That will be a wild pitch, which allows Pryor to move up. And Drew reaches out and tells Selby, that's my bad, my fault. He needs to refocus here on a 1 ball, 2 strike count. One ball, 2 strike, 2 out here in the top of the first inning. Jake Pryor on third base. Drew Toombs to Brian Selby. Up. Looks like it's going to be playable. Oh, just out of play. You don't see that very often. It was out of play between the net and the roof of the here over the bleachers. There might be 2 feet of room, maybe, and for some reason that was enough 2 feet that it needed to push in between there. But still a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Tatum Jones. Again, top of the first. Dragons need to do what they can here to keep the runner Pryor at third base, who reached on a walk, stole second, and then moved to third on a wild pitch. There's a curveball out to Derek, who seemed to get a bad jump on it. It is going to go out there, and we are going to have a double here by Tatum Jones. And AV does jump on the board first.
First baseman, number 11, Eli Vandergriff.
That brings in Eli Vandergriff, the first baseman today for the Arcadia Valley Tigers. And that's a strike. Hopefully the Dragons today will be ready to hit. Pryor does throw pretty hard. Definitely going to need some runs here to win this ball game. And he throws that one by Vandergriff. Again, 2 strikes. No ball, 2 strike count, 2 out. Top of the first. Tatum Jones on second. Jake Pryor has already come around to score after walking, stealing second, moving to third on a wild pitch, and then came in on the double by Tatum Jones. Again, curveball. They need to appeal that one, and he definitely went. So he does end up striking out the side, but in between striking out the side, he walked. Pryor moved around again on a stolen base and a wild pitch, and then gave up the double to Tatum Jones to score one for Arcadia Valley. So after one, AV is one hit, one walk, scores a run, and Drew does strike out all three of the outs, but that will bring up St. Gen in the bottom of the first inning. Today's St. Genevieve's lineup will be Derek Morgenthaler will lead off. Again, I told you he's out in the left field. Batting second will be the DH today, Chase Kohler, who's DHing for the catcher, Brian Selby. Batting third, Daniel Veit playing over at first. Cleanup today will be Drew Toombs, the pitcher. Batting fifth, Waylon Kemper, who's over at third. Batting sixth will be Grant Staffen, playing second base. Batting seventh, right fielder Brady Boyer. Batting eighth, the center fielder Dalton Giesler. And batting ninth will be the shortstop Brandon Henson. So after Jake Pryor gets his warm-up pitches here, we'll be back for the bottom half of the first inning. Okay, so we will have here bottom of the first inning. Dragons get an opportunity to hopefully also get on the board. They will have Derek Morgenthaler leading off. Derek does a great job in leadoff. I believe looked earlier today, he has drawn a walk 20 times this season. His on-base percentage is very, very high. He is batting over 400. Actually, I take that back, just under 400. But with all the walks, his on-base percentage is very, very good. Pryor starts him off with a fastball outside. And the next pitch, right up the middle for a base hit by Derek. Right almost between the legs of Jake Pryor. So, again, Derek does get a leadoff single.
Designated hitter, number 6, Chase Kohler.
That will bring in Chase Kohler, the DH for today. Chase also started DHing, about halfway through the games that we've played so far. Again, definitely over 300. One of the guys that's batting over 300. Does a really good job in here at the DH. There he fists one off for third baseman. Comes all the way over to first for the out. Chase does move over Morgenthaler to second base.
First baseman, number 27, Daniel Veit.
That brings in today's first baseman, Daniel Veit. Another one of the guys hitting nearly 400 under it. Daniel's done a really, really good job. I believe he and Waylon Kemper are tied with team lead in RBIs. And here'd be a great opportunity for Daniel to get another one. And he drives the ball out to center field. Makes the catch, throws the ball in, and Derek stays where he's at. So now there's two down here. Brings in cleanup hitter Drew Toombs. Drew, another guy that's hitting, I think, 351 on the year. Second on the team in one actual RBI behind Waylon and Daniel, who are tied. I believe Drew has 14. They both have 15. Be a good opportunity for him to get another one across the plate. There's a ball outside from Pryor. Here again, the Dragons have a runner in scoring position. Just need to find that clutch hit. Find that hit that will score a run or two. And he reaches out on his front foot, skies that one out to left field. Looks like the shortstop is going to get underneath it. So that will be a pop out to the shortstop to end the top of the first inning. And after one, the Arcadia Valley Tigers lead 1-0. Up for the Tigers in the second inning will be DH Luke Savage, who is batting for the center fielder Corbin Ray, right fielder Cory Skinner, and catcher Stephen Pursley. All right, we're going to go to the top of the second inning. Leading off this inning for the Arcadia Valley Tigers will be their DH number 1, Luke Savage. He will face, again, Dragon Hurler today, Drew Toombs. There's one that's just going to lift right over Grant Staffen for a little Texas League single, right over the second baseman. That brings in right fielder Cory Skinner. So here, AV does lead off with a first pitch single just over the second baseman's head in front of the center fielder. And Drew's got some work to do. He looks to bunt, strike. Skinner squared around. Defense moved in. Looks like now Whalen's going to play right in on the grass, expecting the bunt, as Drew again will bring it to Skinner. That one's he calls a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, man on first. Top of the second for Arcadia Valley. That one's bunted right to Whalen. Fields the ball, goes and gets the runner at first, and Skinner does his job. Gets us out on a sacrifice bunt.
Catcher number 25, Stephen Pursley.
To move the runner into scoring position with 1 out. Brings in today's catcher, Stephen Pursley. We played about a week ago, again at Arcadia Valley, and Tatum Jones, who's playing third, was the catcher that day. So, you know, AV's got a lineup that they can move some guys around a little bit. Drew now with a man on second, pitching here to Pursley. Brings the first pitch, foul ball over here over our heads. So Pursley is behind, no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Man on second, trying to do his job, try to get another run for the AV Tigers. Next pitch, low and outside. Next pitch. And it's going to be popped up. Grant Staffen catches that one. In behind first a little bit. So it'll be a pop-up to number 4. So now we got 2 down. Brings in the bottom of the lineup, left fielder today for the Arcadia Valley Tigers, number 4, Kyle Helms. With 2 down here in the top of the second inning. That one's ball high and inside. Low and outside. Drew just doesn't seem to be as sharp as he's been recently. He probably needs to slow himself down a little bit. Take a couple deep breaths. There's a swing and a miss. Fouled it off, actually. You know, of course, I know Drew better than anybody, and he gives up a run early. He likes to beat himself up a little bit, but he needs to shake that off, understand that his teammates are going to have his back, get him in the game. Next pitch is a strike. Took a little bit off of that one. That evens the count, 2-2 with 2 outs here in the second inning. Lots of 2s. Got a runner on second base for the Arcadia Valley Tigers. And raises that one up high to get that strikeout. Helms needed a ladder to reach that one. But when they get up there in the eyes, they look like big old beach balls. You think you can drive them forever. But he does not make contact. So the Tigers do pick up a hit, but strand a runner at second base after a great sacrifice bunt by Cory Skinner to get him there. But the next 2 guys pop out to the second baseman and strike out to end the inning. And AV, again, does not score, but hopefully St. Genevieve make an opportunity here to tie the ball game or go ahead. So we'll be back here with the bottom of the second here in a second.
baseman number 1, Waylon
All right,
Kemper.
bottom of the second inning. Dragons will have a third baseman Kemper, second baseman Staffen, right fielder Boyer up. Hopefully here, close to the bottom of the lineup, can get something going. I know when we played Valley Catholic just not too many days ago, the bottom of the lineup here is the guys that gave us opportunity to score some runs, did their jobs. Waylon comes up, takes the first ball, fastball high, just in the top part of the strike zone. Next one is called a strike. It's a 1-1 count now on Waylon. Jake Pryor working out of the windup. Here's a good poke by Waylon. Looks like it's going to right field. Right fielder misses the ball, drops it. Waylon's going to pull up with a double. Great job again by the bottom of the lineup there. Nice piece of hitting there by Waylon to go the other way. And, that, you know, that's what you're going to have to do when you got a guy that throws pretty hard. Pryor's throwing 79 to 80. And, you know, you're not going to get around on that guy every time. So take that ball to right field. Brings in second baseman Grant Staffen with an opportunity to at least move Waylon over into scoring position. I anticipate that Coach McDaniel might have a sacrifice on here. You can see the first and third baseman creeping a little bit. And he has him swing away. Breaking ball by Pryor. Drops in for a strike. So Grant will be working from a little bit behind here. Again, first baseman way in on the grass. Third baseman just on the fake turf. Oh, there's a good poke right in the gap by Staffen. That's easily going to score Waylon. The outfielder drops it, and Grant's going to work himself all the way into second base with a single, and I'm going to call it an error by the center fielder when he dropped the ball and gave Grant an opportunity to pick up an extra base. So he trades positions with Waylon to even the score. Brings in Brady Boyer. Brady playing out in right field for us today. Again, this is the part of the lineup that helped us against Valley Catholic. Again, we ended up losing that game 4-3, but it was a great game. As Brady skies that one out to right field, that's easily going to be a tag-up position. Wind keep pushing, does not catch it. Brady is going to go for 3 as Staffen is going to try to score, and Brady pulls up at third base. Boy, you know that wind's carrying out to right field. And I tell you, out there, that was a high ball, but it just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. Brady did not break stride, not once. He knew he was going for 30. He almost caught up with Grant. Again, he's got a stride almost twice the length of Grant's, and he was going the whole way to third. So he's now at third. Nobody out after a double, a single, now a triple. Brings in Dalton Giesler, who's starting to hit the ball. As Pryor brings in the first one, strike to Dalton. You know, Dalton is starting to get around on the ball, and actually starting to watch his batting average creep up. It'd be a big hit right here to bring Brady home as he pulls the ball right down the third base line, but just fouled by about 6 feet. But a good hard hit ball. Definitely will put him in the hole 0-2, but, you know, guys are getting some pretty good swings here on Jake Pryor. Henson waiting on deck. Dalton calls time, something a little uncomfortable. Probably had a little bit of nerves going in there after just having a really hard hit ball that went foul. That ball's inside on a breaking ball by Jake Pryor. So Dalton's still behind, Pryor still ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, here in the bottom of the second inning, Dragons have put 2 on the board. Dalton finds that one, pops that. It's going to be a little difficult. Looks like outfielder comes in, and he's going to try to score Brady. Brady's going to come in, and he is going to score on the sac fly by Dalton Giesler. Again, man doing his job. Sac fly by Dalton Giesler.
Shortstop number 4, Brandon Henson.
And that does bring Brady home, who's got some wheels. And we'll bring Brandon Henson into the batter's box with 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Pryor starts him off with a strike. On deck, leadoff hitter Derek Morgenthaler, who singled his first at bat. And looks like he fists that one. I see Tatum Jones fielded almost in the shortstop position. Shortstop was playing back, so a little bit easier play for third baseman Tatum Jones, but he does pop out to the third baseman for the second out here in the bottom of the second inning. Brings up leadoff hitter Derek Morgenthaler. Ball's low and in the dirt. Good job by the AB catcher to block it. Yeah, nobody's on, but still a catcher doing his job. As Derek swings at that one and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Dragons have put 3 on the board to take the lead 3-1. But I've seen this team do some damage with 2 outs. We'd like to get another rally started here. That one's low as the catcher tries to pull it up into the zone, but home plate umpire Art Armbruster says nope, that's low. 2 balls, 1 strike. To the left fielder for the Dragons, Derek Morgenthaler. That one, Derek does what he does in the first inning. Just puts bat on it, lifts it over the infielder's head in front of the outfielders for another single.
Designated hitter, number 6, Chase Kohler.
Chase Kohler last time grounded out to the third baseman. Did move Derek over to second at the time, who was then eventually left stranded. So I know Chase would like to, here with 2 outs, find a gap somewhere. He fouls that one off. On deck, Daniel Veit. That's ball high. To Chase, 1-1 count. And Chase takes a swing at that one. A little bit behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You need to choke up here. Fight it off. Again, don't need to kill it. Just need to find a way to find a hole or just over the infielders' heads. Try to keep this inning going. As Derek steals that base on a ball outside. So that evens the count 2-2 to Chase. As Coach Gibson yells that, nothing up. 2-2, 2 out, man on second base here in the bottom of the second inning. That ball's high. Chase does a great job to come back and get a full count. This is where you really want to look for one. You foul off anything that's not exactly what you want till you get the pitch you want to hit. And there it is, and that's exactly what Chase does. Fouls one up over our heads here. Definitely a quality at bat right here for Chase Kohler. Daniel Veit just can't wait on deck. He'd love to get another opportunity to get another RBI. And Chase waves at that one to end the inning. So not before the Dragons send up 7 to the plate, scoring 3 runs on 4 hits. 3 runs on 4 hits. Again, scoring 3 runs, and the Dragons now take the lead 3-1 as we go to the third inning. Up for the Arcadia Valley Tigers will be the top of the lineup. Second baseman Trent Russell, pitcher Jake Pryor, and shortstop Isaiah Gibbs. Those were the guys that put together an opportunity to score their run in the first inning. So, again, we'll be back here in a second to bring you the top of the third inning. All right, we're going to go here to the top of the third inning. Again, the top of the lineup here for the Arcadia Valley Tigers. Trent Russell last at bat. He struck out. So I know Drew will try to get ahead again here as he starts with a ball outside and low. You know, talking to Coach McDaniel earlier today, I think it was a plan he'd like Drew to have some efficient innings and get through quite a few innings. That one must have been a little high. Hitter was bailing out on that one. So 2 balls, no strikes here. Ball low and outside. You need to step off here, move behind the mound, take a deep breath, come back and get this guy. And that one's low. And he walks his second batter. Something Drew hasn't done a whole lot recently, but for some reason just getting out of his comfort zone a little bit. Trying to pitch a little too much to the edges, which is important, but you also can't put leadoff guys on by the walk. They've got to earn it. Brings in the best hitter for AV, Jake Pryor. And there's another ball. Jake does have 4 home runs this season. So with the wind blowing out here to right field as a left-handed hitter, Drew needs to stay on the outside corner. He looks over, throws it over to Daniel to keep Russell close at first. Next pitch to Pryor. Ball high. 6 straight balls here Drew has thrown to Selby. Calls Brian out. Give himself a little bit of time. Talks it over. Does some manicuring of the mound. Here after the Dragons have put up 3, you really want to try to have an inning where you reduce the number of runs, as Drew has now gone 3 balls straight to Pryor after 4 straight balls to Trent Russell. Worried a little bit too much about that runner in my opinion. And brings that one in for a strike. Pryor was taken all the way. Might end up taking another pitch here. Ooh, not sure where that pitch was, but called outside.
Shortstop number 3, Isaiah Gibbs.
Brings in Isaiah Gibbs. Gibbs last at bat, struck out. So Pryor now has walked both at bats today. And there's a strike. Need to do whatever we can do here to limit any damage this inning with putting the first 2 runners on. It's about finding some outs, pitching to contact. Second pitch in there for a strike. I think after first two walks, AV coach probably told his guys, you're going to go in there till you get 2 strikes. You're going to have to try to work your way on base as we work from behind here. Drew's done exactly what he needed to do. Come and throw strikes. And there's a curveball right to Whalen. Steps on. All right, we get a double play. Whalen makes a great play to step on third base. Turns it over to Grant. Grant does a good job to dig it out and keep his foot on second base to get the unconventional 5-4 double play. But it does erase the first 2 guys. So that is a fielder's choice 5-4 double play with now just a man on first base. Brings in Tatum Jones, who actually doubled last at bat. So Drew throws him a curveball, which he takes out to right field foul. As Brady will retrieve that, throw the ball in. So it's just a long strike. So this inning now has gone to 2 outs. with a runner on first. Good play by Waylon Kemper over there to snag that ball, have enough wherewithal after grabbing it to step on third, turn and make the throw to Grant to get both lead runners. Drew brings it into Tatum, who fouls it over the third base dugout. Great play out there by Jerry Kemper, sitting in his chair, reaching over the top, fielding it, and then threw it into his son Waylon at third. So that ball comes in. So Drew's got, even though they're pretty loud strikes, 2 strikes on Tatum Jones, who doesn't seem to be fooled by Drew. So maybe throw him a little curveball here, keep him off as he goes high fastball. I can understand that too. Get it up in the eyes again, make that ball look pretty big. Be good big here for the Dragons after 2 leadoff walks to come out of this inning without giving up a run. And again, that was curveball in the dirt. Does move up. Again, Isaiah Gibbs picked a good pitch to run on with the curveball. I'm going to call that also a wild pitch just because it did hit the dirt. And Tatum has worked to a full count here after being down 0-2. Whoa, that's only 3. I'm not sure. They need to talk to the umpires because that's definitely only 3. Come on now. So 3-2 count here on Tatum Jones. Ranner on second base for AV. And there it is. Threw it by him to get the third out of the inning. Great job by Waylon Kemper. I'm going to give him a gold star that inning because he made one heck of a play at third base to tag the third, throw it over to Grant, who again made a great play at second to scoop the ball out of the dirt, have enough wherewithal to keep his toe on the bag before the runner from first got there to get both lead runners on that double play. So I'm not going to say it's a very efficient inning, but again, an inning where AV puts up no runs. And that will bring up for your Dragons the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. First baseman Daniel Veit, pitcher Drew Toombs, and third baseman Waylon Kemper will be up this bottom of the third inning. So we'll be back to bring that to you here in just a bit. All right, here we go, the bottom of the third inning. Bottom of the third inning brings in again, leading off here, Daniel Veit, who flew out to the center fielder in his first at bat against Jake Pryor. Jake starts him out with some type of changeup that goes outside. Didn't look like a curve, just looked like some kind of splitter, something of that nature. Comes in with a curveball that time. Daniel fouls it off. Goes off the catcher. He winces a little bit. I anticipate Art will come over and give him a little bit of time as he's shaking that one off. Those hurt. You know, they talk about the catcher's gear as the tools of ignorance. And, again, it's not because the guys back there doing it are not very smart. It's the fact that they get beat up throughout a season. Foul balls, balls in the dirt, hit them lots of places. Daniel sees that one go outside. So, again, he's got a pretty favorable count here. 2 balls, 1 strike. Allows him to be very selective here on this pitch. Pryor comes with another curveball outside. Now he's got that count where he's got that little box, as Coach McDaniel always makes with his hands, meaning, you know, whatever zone you're looking in, if it's there, drive it. If not, take it. And he must have been in that zone, and Daniel fouls that off behind the plate. So he has a full count. Daniel hits that one. It's going to fall in between the center fielder and right fielder. And again, he gets a single. Good piece of hitting there by Daniel Veit to get us a leadoff single. Now we just got to get Drew keyed in here. Last at bat, Drew popped out to the shortstop, reaching for a ball. You know, needs to be a little more selective unless he's got a 2-strike count. As Pryor works from the stretch now. And Drew fouls it up over here behind us, hitting it off the fat fist a little bit. I know Drew likes to go up there and be very aggressive, and I have no problem with that with your cleanup hitter. You know, he's only drawn 2 walks on the season when most guys have multiple, including Derek Morgenthaler, who has 20. But he just likes to go up there and swing at pitches. As he swings at that one right over the second baseman's head, drops in about the same place Daniels did, in fact. And now we have 2 on with nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. I anticipate we'll have a little bit of a courtesy runner here. And I see Coach McDaniel yell Stolzer for Drew, which means Sam Stolzer is going to courtesy run here at first base for Drew, who's pitching. You get that opportunity to have a courtesy runner for your pitcher and catcher. For us, since Brian is being DH'd for, it will only be for Drew, who's pitching right now. So Sam Stolzer comes out. Sam's definitely got some wheels. He's going to have to be real careful on anything in the gap. Not to pass Daniel, because, you know, not that Daniel's extremely slow, but Sam is a burner. First pitch to Waylon, a ball inside. Waylon started off our 2nd inning where we scored 3 runs with a double. Like to see him do that same thing here, and I know we would score 2. He fouls that one up here behind me. Probably going to land in the back of my truck. So again, the first 2 have reached. Daniel Veit with a single, Drew Toombs with a single, and then he is courtesy ran for by Sam Stolzer. So on the base paths, we got Daniel Veit at second, Sam Stolzer over at first, Waylon Kemper in the box with a 1-1 count against Jake Pryor here for Arcadia Valley. The next pitch, he squares to bunt, and he fouls it. Fouls it, comes up, hit him almost in the mouth inside the box, so he wasn't out in fair territories, but that's going to give him 2 strikes. Don't anticipate that he'll look to bunt here. Any bunt on a 3rd strike that goes foul is an out. It's like a strikeout. It is a strikeout. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody down. First 2 guys on here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And he waits for that one, and it gets down the 3rd base line. He is going to look to score Daniel. He tells Stolzer to stay at second base. And a great piece of hitting there by Waylon Kemper to go down the line for a single. Again, scoring for second, Daniel Veit. Moving courtesy runner, Sam Stolzer to second, and Waylon now at 3rd. Grant Staffen last at bat had a long single, moved to second on a drop out there by the when he tried to pick the ball up by the center fielder. Well, again, love to see the same thing from Grant as he pops that one right over the 3rd baseman's head. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to carry too far here. Oh, that might get over. No. All right. So good job out there by the left fielder.
Right fielder number 13, Brady Boyer.
As that is our first out here. Again, man on first and second. That's Sam Stolzer at second. Waylon Kemper at first, bringing Brady Boyer, who tripled his last at bat, first at bat today. Deep to right field. That ball's low and outside, and great job by the AV catcher there. Again, give him a little credit. That is Stephen Pursley doing a great job behind the plate. Pryor with the next pitch to Brady Boyer. Another one outside. The catcher throws from his knees all the way out. Sam Stolzer knew it was coming, got back in time. That's a 2-ball, no strike count with 1 down here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Dragons have pushed 1 run across. They'd like to get more. Brady reaches out, fouls that one out here to the Cards. Well, let's listen. Didn't hear any dings, so 2 balls, 1 strike. Brady reaches that one again, fouls it off over here. Again, I don't believe it hits any vehicles. But now he's got himself in a 2-2 count. 2-2 count here, 1 down. I see over here to my right next to our home bullpen here and see a bunch of the Valley Catholic Warriors wondering maybe they're playing their next game here. Sam steals third and moves in easily, standing straight up on a ball that almost hit Brady initially, and he took off for third. Catcher threw the ball in the dirt, got past the third baseman, Tatum Jones over there, went into outfield. Sam scores easily on that ball that gets to the outfield. Again, I talked about the wheels that boy's got, and he definitely showed them there. Waylon Kemper does move up to second base. Does not move anywhere further because, again, the ball went out to left field, was easily fielded and thrown back in. Taking a look at Tatum Jones over there. He might have caught a knee to knee or a spike to a knee as the slide was coming in and he was trying to field the ball. But, you know Tatum a little bit. He's a tough kid. I guarantee he's going to walk it off. He will definitely stay in the ball game. So, again, Brady has worked it to a full count, 1 down. Now all he's got is Waylon sitting out there at second base. I know Waylon would like to tell him, come on, bring me in. Let's put another run on the board as the Dragons now lead 5-1 here in the bottom of the third. Brady leans out on that one. And we get a double play. So shortstop comes in on that one, does a good job to catch it. Waylon was kind of caught in no man's land, and I understand he didn't do anything wrong there. He right in between, wasn't sure what to do. So if nothing else, let's make the aggressive play and take off for third. But shortstop made a good play to catch it and ended up doubling him off of second base. So we'll bring you the top of the 4th inning here in just a second. All right, we go to the top of the 4th inning. Drew Toombs still on the mound. Nothing seems to be changing. He's going to bring up for Arcadia Valley their first baseman, Eli Vandergriff. And then followed by Luke Savage and Cory Skinner, the DH and the right fielder today. Last at bat in the 1st inning, Drew struck out Eli. I know he'd like to do the same thing here, but it's pitch to contact more than anything else. And that one's going to be a ball outside. I'm not really sure what Drew's got going on. I don't know if his delivery or what, but he seems to be, fishing too much on the outside corners. That one's going to be to Henson, who charges fields, makes a great play at shortstop. Looks like he's been doing it forever, which he almost has. But great play out there. Drew appreciates that, gives him a fist-to-fist pound as he watched Brandon come in, field that on the short hop, make the little sling throw over to Daniel for the 6-3 put out. 1 down now here in the top of the 4th inning, bringing in the DH, Luke Savage, who last at bat singled on the first pitch. The dinker over Grant Staffen. As that one's low outside for another ball. Brian doing a good job behind the plate today, keeping the balls in front of him, keeping Drew focused. As that one's another to Dinker, but right to Dalton Giesler, who takes about 4 steps in, falls into his Rawlings
Right fielder number 15, Cory Skinner.
for the second out of the top of the fourth inning. Brings in right fielder Cory Skinner. He's had an adventurous day out there in right field. The wind was blowing out and had a couple of balls hit to him over his head that he made a great effort on. Just couldn't catch either one of them. Ended up being a double and a triple for the Dragons. As Drew throws the first one in, and he throws it right out into left field in front of Derek Morgenthaler for a 2-out single. Good piece of hitting there by Skinner, just taking the ball where it came from. Brings in Kircher Pursley, who popped out to Grant Staffen in the second inning. 2 down here in the top of the fourth. Pursley, the catcher today. Drew checks at the runner over there at first. That's Skinner, who had a 2-out single. That's a pop-up here behind us. Listen, see if it hits. Again, I hear it hit concrete. But Drew gets ahead of him, again with a first pitch strike. Second one, right up the middle. Grant, who was stepping on second as he fielded it for the force out. So that will be the 4 unassisted. Fielder's choice to get Skinner forced up at second base. So pretty efficient inning for Drew there. Total of 7 pitches. So I'd say that's kind of inning you want to have. So again, AV scores no runs on 1 hit, leaves 1. Actually didn't leave 1, got the force out. I guess you could say he left 1 at first since he would have reached on the fielder's choice. And the Dragons will come up at the bottom of the order, the 8 and 9 hitters, Dalton Giesler, Brandon Henson, and then the top of the lineup. So we'll bring it to you bottom of the fourth here in just a bit.
Leading off for the Dragons, center fielder, number 9, Dalton Giesler.
As you heard, the voice of the baseball Dragons, Clayton Gegg, leading off here, bottom of the fourth inning, will be center fielder Dalton Giesler. Last at bat, Dalton does a great job with a sac fly to end up scoring Waylon Kemper from third. That ball is high prior to Giesler. And another one. Dalton now has a great hitter's count. He can look to drive something if it's exactly where he wants it. Right on the inside. I don't mind him laying off that one. The only thing he'd have been able to do with that one is probably fist it somewhere without any power. So he lays off that one, looking to find the next one. Still has a good up count. And he found the one he wanted, just fouled it off. But that does even the count, 2-2. I know Dalton would really like to get something started here in the 4th inning. Push a couple more runs across. And he puts a ride into that one. That one is going to be deep. Goes, just hits to the base of the wall, pulls up at second base with a leadoff double. Again, Coach McDaniel and the coaching staff has been talking to these kids about using that outer half. Take it to right field, and that's what Dalton did in that pitch. And it looks like they're maybe going to pull Pryor. Looks like they're going to bring in Tatum, I believe. Tatum Jones from third base. And Pryor's going to shortstop. Isaiah Gibbs is going to go out to center field, who was playing short. Center fielder looks like he's coming off. And I'm not sure what number that was, but that guy's going to be going to third base. And with us just doing the broadcast, they're not they don't have to report to us all the changes, so we'll do our best to get them for you as the guys come to hit next at bat. So after he warms up, we'll bring you Henson next at bat. Sorry, folks. All right, so Dalton Giesler on second base after a leadoff double. Brings in Brandon Henson. I anticipate you're going to see him square around here. Coach McDaniel's done that a ton with Brandon, and he's done a great job with it. And he does, and the ball's way outside, and he takes the ball. That now has at least alerted to AV to what's going to go. Third baseman still playing way back. First baseman comes in barely onto the green. So I anticipate Brandon will be doing the same thing again. Dalton has really good wheels. He lays down the bunt. And he makes the sacrifice bunt work again to his favor. So sacrifice bunt fielded by the catcher. And that does move Dalton over to third. Brings in Derek Morgenthaler, who has 2 singles on the day. Derek facing Tatum Jones, grounds it to first, fields it, just steps on the bag, but Dalton stays where he's at. So that's 1 unassisted. Dalton still at third now with 2 out. Brings in Chase Kohler. Chase today has grounded out to the third baseman and struck out. Dragons don't want to waste that leadoff double by Dalton. Chase fouls that one off of his foot. He'll have a hard time playing hopscotch tomorrow. He's walking that one off. Gets back in the batter's box. Chase Kohler after fouling one off of his foot. And comes in with a curveball from Tatum. Now he's behind 0-2. Got a guard. Here he tries to drive it. Run hard there. Pryor's got a cannon, so he's probably going to throw him out. And he does. So Chase grounds out 6-3 to end of the inning. Dragons don't score any runs, but do get a leadoff double from Dalton, who's stranded at third. And we'll go to the 5th inning. Looks like Derek Morgenthaler now is going to go to the mound. And he will face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters for Arcadia Valley. We'll be back here to bring you the top of the 5th. All right, so we go to the 5th inning. We do have a few changes for the Dragons. Looks like Derek Morgenthaler now coming in to pitch. Pitcher Drew Toombs is going to go behind the plate. DH Chase Kohler will now go out in left field where Derek was. So Brian Selby will be done for the day as Kohler moves out to left field. Our left fielder goes to pitching, and our pitcher assumes the tools of ignorance and goes behind the plate.
Left fielder number 4, Kyle Helms.
So that does, Derek will face the number 9 hitter, Helms, who in his only at bat so far in the 2nd inning struck out. So he will face, again, like I said, the 9, 1, and 2. Morgenthaler to Toombs, now the battery mates. First pitch low and outside for a ball. And he grounds that one to Brandon Henson, who charges. Oh, just doesn't take the hop he wants. Ends up going under his glove. I'm sure he's aggravated it himself. Unfortunately, got to score that one an E6.
Trent Russell.
We'll bring in leadoff hitter Trent Russell, who today has struck out, walked, and then was erased on that great double play started by Waylon Kemper over there at third base. So AV does have their leadoff guy on. He reaches on the air. I apologize. Wind kicked up, and I think I got a piece of turf right down my throat. Actually, no, but for some reason I'm coughing. That one, swing and a miss. Derek's way ahead of him here. No balls, 2 strikes. Look for something in the dirt and hope your catcher keeps it in front of him. And it gets by him as he drops. The guy goes go to second base. Again, got to do a good job to keep that ball in front, and I know he'll beat himself up on that one. As he throws it by him. Well, that is 1 down now. Man on second.
Pryor.
Brings in Pryor. Pryor's walked both bats against Drew. Now facing Derek with a man on second. 1 down. I don't know if Drew was crossed up there with the man on second base. Caught that one a little awkwardly. Low, though, for a ball. As Derek looks in for his sign. That one right down to Daniel, fields it, steps on first for the second out. Pryor could put the bat on it good, but right to Daniel, who fields it, goes down, takes it unassisted for the second out of the inning. That does move Helms up to third. Again, who reached on the air. Brings in Isaiah Gibbs. First pitch fisted right over Daniel's head, but foul territory run down by Brady Boyer out in right field. And Derek starts him off with a strike. Gibbs today struck out in the first and reached on a that fielder's choice double play in the third inning, started by Whalen. And that one's hit out to Brady, looks like he's getting a beat on it. And he makes the catch right on the line. Would have fallen fair, but does a great job catching it over his shoulder for just a long fly ball to the right fielder. So, AV does strand a man at third that reached on air, but then the Dragons get 3 straight outs to keep AV from scoring in the 5th inning. So, we go to the bottom of the 5th. Dragons still leading 5-1. All right, bottom of the 5th inning. We'll have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Daniel Veit stepping up. Daniel today has flew out to the center fielder and singled and scored. Singled and scored in the 3rd. Tatum starts him off with a strike. Tatum did a good job after coming in after the leadoff double by Dalton last inning. There's a curveball high. Brings the count to 1-1. There's a ball low and outside, called a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Daniel fists that one off. It's going to be down the line, right on the line. Oh, he calls it foul. Whew. You know, I don't have the greatest vantage point. I'm not right down the line, but Coach McDaniel's definitely not arguing about it. So it must have been right down the line, just a little foul. Just a long strike, which he already had 2. So that pitch didn't even happen. And he fists that one out to Pryor, gets the nice cherry hop over to first base for the easy 6-3 put out. That will bring in Drew, who's now catching. Drew today has popped out to the shortstop and singled, both off of Pryor, but now he's going to be facing Tatum Jones, a guy he knows pretty well. That one's a curveball that he is down low, and he lets it go. Definitely don't want to reach outside the zone. That one's a ball inside. Got a good hitter's count right here. I know he'll stay aggressive. As I see now, looks like, is that Fredericktown, I guess, now that has shown up. So, yes, I assume that Valley and Fredericktown will be playing here as Drew takes that one way outside. So he has that 3-0 count. I anticipate here he will take a pitch. Coach McDaniel looking to get some more runners on. As that one's inside, but called a strike. So a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Drew. As Drew just takes that one. Good play there by the second baseman. And the wild throw is wide, but first baseman does a good job to come up, swipe tag, as Drew tries to avoid the tag. A good play by the second baseman there. Drew stung that one hard, and it was like jumped right into the glove of the second baseman. For the 4-3 putout, bringing in Waylon Kemper, who has doubled and singled on the day. Waylon would like to get something started here with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That one's down low. Good job by the catcher again. Leaves the count 1-1. That one's way outside. Waylon waves at that. I know he'd like to have that one back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nobody on, nobody threatening. And Waylon swings at that one. So Tatum Jones has done a great job coming in relief of Jake Pryor. And has finished off the 4th inning and went through the 5th inning completely unscathed. 3 up, 3 down. As we will go to the 6th inning. And right now, again, the Dragons still lead 5-1.
Pitcher, number 10, Tatum Jones.
All right, going to the 6th inning. For Arcadia Valley in the 6th inning will be their 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Tatum Jones, Eli Vandergriff, and Luke Savage, who are now the pitcher, still first baseman, and now third baseman. So Tatum today has doubled and struck out. Those were against Drew Toombs. So now he will face Derek Morgenthaler. And first pitch strike. Tatum out on his front foot a little bit. Good job by Derek again to get a strike to start out. And a good job there to hit that outside corner. Good stiff arm there to get the call. Ball in the dirt there. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tatum Jones. Derek throwing. Now on the mound. There's a curveball. I think it was caught, but Drew does a good job to step out and tag Tatum anyway, just to make sure.
First baseman, number 11, Eli Vandergriff.
Brings in Eli Vandergriff. Today Eli struck out in the first, grounded out to the shortstop in the fourth, now hitting in the sixth. He is the first baseman for these Arcadia Valley Tigers. That one's a little outside. And the second ball. Derek. Derek brings the next one in. There's a swing and a miss by Vandergriff. So it's 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 down here in the top of the 6th inning. Dragons leading 5-1. That one's a ball high and outside. So Derek's got 3 balls, 1 strike. Needs to come in here to Vandergriff, let his fielders play. Let's not put anybody on with free. And he does, and that one's hit out to Dalton, who's standing, makes about 7 strides back, falls right into that, again, Gold Glove Rawlings he's got out there. It's probably a heart of the hide if I know Dalton.
Third baseman, number 1, Luke Savage.
That brings in Luke Savage, who's now the third baseman after DHing first couple at bats, who singled and flew out to center field. He now is playing third. Derek throws the first one. Looks good. Called a ball low, I'm assuming. There's the next one. Grounded to Brandon. Brandon does a better job to field that one. Over to Daniel, who scoops it out. Does a good job. Daniel's done a great job at first base this year. You know, these fielders have all the confidence in him when they throw it over there. They're not going to be perfect every time, even though they're going to try. And Daniel's done a great job scooping those things out of the dirt. So great job over there by Daniel. And that's the 6-3 put out for Savage to end the inning. Derek has a pretty clean inning again. 3 up, 3 down. And we will go to the bottom of the 6th here in just a bit.
Dragons, second baseman, number 3, Grant Staffen.
All right, bottom of the 6th. We will have these 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Again, these guys have done a great job past couple of games, tearing up the base paths, getting guys on, leaving RBI opportunities. Grant today has singled and then flew out to the left fielder. Like to see him again lead off an inning with a hit, as that one's high and inside from Tatum Jones. The hurler now in for the Arcadia Valley Tigers. Second pitch to Grant, called a strike, right on the outside corner. 1-1 count here in the bottom of the 6th. That one a little off speed, and Grant out in front of it, but fouls it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one a curveball on the outside, evens the count 2-2. You know, Grant today, again, has that single, but also did a great job on that double play out there at second base, digging it out and still keeping a toe on the bag to get that much-needed double play earlier today. That one he fouls off right into his face. So that one I'm sure didn't feel great, but He's a wrestler. He's tough. He's ready to get back in there. Yeah, that breaking ball broke right in there. Grant knew it. Grant knew it. Now it's first out here in the 6th. Brings up Brady Boyer. Brady today has tripled and then hit a line shot to the shortstop, who then doubled off Waylon Kemper at second base to end that inning in the 3rd. So I know Brady again would like to have a long drive like he had in the 2nd inning to get that triple and get some runners on base for Dalton today. Started Tatum with a ball. And it's going to be a strike as he fouls that one down the 3rd base line toward the 3rd base dugout. Coach McDaniel's going to run out and retrieve it. So it's 1-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Brady's going to reach that one out. It's going to hit down the line. It's going to be foul. And a great job out there by the right fielder to dive down the line next to the fence in foul territory and catch that. Just a great play out there. Great job. I know he's had a windy, tough day out there, Skinner has, but that one right there atones for all that. Makes a great play out there in right field. That's the 2nd out, bringing in Dalton Giesler, who has sacrifice fly and a double. So he's 1 for 1 on the day. And he takes that one right in the middle of the back. So Dalton will reach base safely again for the 2nd time in a row with a hit by pitch. And bring in Brandon Henson. Henson today has popped out to the 3rd baseman and had a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning. Now with 2 down, I don't anticipate sacrifice. That would not do us any good. But I'm sure would like to try to find a green somewhere and move Dalton around and get to the top of the lineup. And he does exactly that, right over the 3rd baseman's head in front of the left fielder, who brings it in. And now, good hit there, piece of hitting by Brandon Henson. Now the Dragons have, again, 2 outs, but are trying to get something started with a man on first and a man on second, bringing in Derek Morgenthaler. Derek today has singled twice and grounded out unassisted to the 1st baseman in the 4th inning. Again, a guy that's hitting in the high 300s, nearing 400, been on base a ton with 20 walks on the season. We'll love to see him plug a gap somewhere. And here's a strike from Tatum Jones to Derek Morgenthaler. Here's a curveball for a strike. Not sure that one clipped the plate, but Art says it did. So I'll take his word for it. Derek grounds that one right down the line. Called foul by the home plate umpire. It's a good thing. It looked like a replay of what Derek did his last at bat. Dalton was definitely off on that one. Dalton had that base stolen if that was a ball easily. But he trots his way back to 2nd base. I see Pryor say something to the pitcher. So they may try to sneak in behind Dalton if he does that again. And there's a breaking ball to Derek, who takes it inside. Now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Dragons leading 5-1. Men on first and second. Got Henson on first after singling, Dalton on second after getting hit by a pitch. And Derek drives it into the ground, but up the hole. 2nd baseman again makes a good play on it, but not near in time. Dalton's going to look to score, as he does, and Henson moves around to 3rd. I'm not sure what the right fielder is upset about, but he was definitely slid in safe. You could see it from here. Dalton never broke stride on that single from Derek. Looks like Arcadia Valley's coach is going to go out and talk to their hurler. Kind of settle him down. Derek gets an infield single with the RBI as Dalton doesn't break stride. Scores all the way from second on the infield single. Brandon moves around to third. Looks like he is going to make a change. I see Tatum hand the ball over. He's going to go back to third base. And it looks like Isaiah Gibbs, if I'm looking at that correct, is going to come to the mound. Next to bat will be Chase Kohler. He will have a man on first and third again here, 2 out, as the Dragons have made some noise with 2 out. Dalton Giesler getting hit by a pitch. Brandon Henson singling, making him first and second. Derek Morgenthaler hitting the ball where they ain't, hitting it up where the second baseman would normally be, but he was shaded toward the bag, holding Dalton close. Totally understandable in a situation like that. And Derek just hit it to where he had to run, field the ball, try to make the throw to first. By the time he got there, Derek was called safe. And again, as I said, Dalton did not break stride. Dalton just rounded third, headed for home. First baseman made the throw home. The throw and Dalton made it there about the same time, but Dalton did get his hand underneath before the tag from the catcher. One lucky thing from the vantage point that we have, it was easily seen. We're here just to the right of home plate, up high. You can see Dalton slide in before the tag, but now we have Isaiah Gibbs pitching. And Chase Kohler hitting. Men on first and third, 2 out. Look like we do have, I believe that might be Camden Rowe over there now. Pinch running for Derek. As Chase swings in that one and misses. So we do have courtesy runner Camden Rowe in for the new pitcher, Derek Morgenthaler, who's now pitching. Again, Camden, like Sam, has wheels. I anticipate you might even see him take off here pretty soon, as he does. And that one's hit right where the second baseman would have been. And Camden's going to get all the way to third on the bag, standing up. As Chase does his job, gets an RBI to bring Brandon Henson in. And Camden gets all the way to third with the speed he has. As Chase gets a single right where the second baseman was. And the Dragons have made some noise with 2 outs. Bringing in Daniel Veit, who's 1 for 3 on the day, has a single, flied out to center field, and grounded out to the shortstop today. Again, they're facing Isaiah Gibbs. And that one's going to go down the line, but foul down the first base line as Daniel gets around on that one. As the Dragons will have to send somebody from their dugout. Looks like Sam Stolzer is running out there to get that. As Daniel steps back in with 1 strike here, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dragons now have a 7-1 lead after scoring 2 times so far here in the bottom of the 6th. That ball's outside as Chase goes down to second base. We'll call that catcher's indifference. I don't know if they have that in high school, but I know they do in the majors. Catcher made no effort, didn't even want to throw down there. As that ball's wide and outside, as Daniel now has the count in his favor. So men on second and third, 2 down. There's a strike. So got a little bit of deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on here in the bottom of the 6th inning after the Dragons have scored 2. And that one's outside. Full count here. Good quality at bat here for Daniel. Way outside. Loads up the bases. As we got Drew Toombs taking the catcher shin guards off.
Catcher number 29, Drew Toombs.
He will face Isaiah Gibbs here in the bottom of the 6th with the bases loaded. Drew is 1 for 3 on the day with a pop out to the shortstop and a ground out to the second baseman. The great ground out, if there is such a thing. Really hard hit ball that the second baseman dove, caught it in his glove, and of course Drew can't run out of sight in a day, so he threw him out at first. And Isaiah starts him off with a strike. I know Drew would really like to get into one here. You got to keep his aggressiveness up, drive it to the opposite field. Here's a ball inside, 1-1. Again, Drew's not going to draw a lot of walks. He's super aggressive at the plate. That one's low and outside, but he's got a good hitter's count right now. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Makes a good healthy cut there. Good healthy cut there. Fouls it barely, but right into the catcher's glove. 2-2. That one gets by the catcher and ball in dirt, but short backstop that we have, Camden doesn't go. But that does make it a full count. Drew still needs to make sure here that he protects the plate. Drives that one right up the middle. Definitely going to score 1. They're going to look to score 2. And they do, as Daniel gets back into second base. So Drew gets 2 RBIs there with the single up the middle.
Third baseman number 1, Waylon Kemper.
That will bring in Waylon Kemper today, who's 2 for 3 with a double, a single, and struck out his last at bat. As the Dragons so far have sent 8 to the plate, scored 4 times, got a man on first and second. Got Sam Stolzer out there again, courtesy running for Drew, who's now catching, so you still have that use of the courtesy runner. As Gibbs starts, Kemper out with a strike. Dragons have put 4 on the board here in the 6th inning and now lead 9-1. Kemper walks back in as they try to pick Daniel off of second, but he's back in safe. There's a good breaking ball, but on the outside corner, just outside. So Kemper now has a 1-1 count. He drives that one to center field. It's going to hang up there, though. I think that's a pretty easy play for their center fielder. Into his glove to end the inning. Fly out to the center fielder. But we do send 9 men to the plate, scoring 4 runs, leaving 2 on. And now the Dragons have a 9-1 lead as they go to the top of the 7th inning. Looks like they now will call on Chad Dunsey. Chad Dunsey will take the mound. He will get the last inning here as Drew stays behind the plate. Looks like everybody else, if I'm not mistaken, stays exactly where they were. I'm assuming that is still Chase. Yes, it is, out in left field. So it looks like Derek Morgenthaler comes off as Chad Dunsey assumes the role of pitching. Everything else stays the same.
Number 19, Chad Dunsey.
Chad will have the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. 7, 8, and 9 hitters today have combined for 1 hit. So I'm sure Chad would really like to have a very efficient inning here. Derek Morgenthaler, by my count, and it is definitely not official, is just to let you know, Morgenthaler threw a total of 21 pitches, which I knew that they were going to keep his count below 30 because I think they anticipate him starting the next game against whoever we face in the pools. You know, I'm not sure what's going on in the games other than I see that Fredericktown here is about ready to play Valley Catholic. for the finalization of their pool. Their pool already has been won by Park Hills. Park Hills beat both Valley Catholic and Fredericktown yesterday in pool play. So they have the 2 wins that it needs to move to the gold bracket. So this will be, after this game, the Valley Fredericktown game will be for the silver bracket winner, and the loser going to the bronze bracket of the NAAA conference here. Dragons can pull this one out. They'll have won both of their games, and will go to the gold bracket with Park Hills. And again, not sure what's happening at the other venue. So we do have Cory Skinner, the right fielder, again made a dazzling play out in right field. As he fists that one, Grant's going to field it on the bounce, throw it over to first, and he gets him. Good stretch there by Daniel. Not sure why we didn't catch that one in the air. Maybe he didn't think he could get there, but a good job there to field it and make the quick throw. And Daniel does what he does best, does a great job over at first. So the 4-3 put out there on Skinner. Brings in, looks like, is that 27? As he swings, I'll have to look and see who that is. 27 is Brandon Robbs, who now is pinch hitting. As he fouls the first one back behind. As Chad now in the dirt. 1-1. And Chad pumps it in there for a strike. So he's got a good count, pitcher's count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here with 1 down in the top of the 7th inning. There's a ball outside. Makes the count 2-2. And he brings it to him. He swings and misses. So there's now 2 down in the 7th inning here. Bringing in the now center fielder, Kyle Helms, who has struck out and reached on an error today and was stranded at third. And the first pitch, little fly ball that falls. Dalton's going to look to try to get him at second base, and he is safe. Brady and Dalton both diving for that. I'm glad they didn't collide because that could have been ugly. Needless to say, they didn't. Neither one could come up with it. So we'll give him a double on that one. And again, hopefully Chad just goes out there, understands that that is not an 8-run guy out there at second base. So we don't need to worry about that guy at all. Let's just go after Trent Russell today. Trent has walked and struck out twice. Come on, Drew. There's a ball and a strike. Chad throws the first one in the dirt. Gets by Drew, and Helms moves up to third. And the second one called outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. And there's drilled up to Wayland. Makes a good play. Over to first. And the out. The 5-3 to end the game as the Arcadia Valley Tigers get 1 hit but fail to score a run in the 7th. And we leave here with a 9-1 victory by the Dragons. Hopefully we get an opportunity to play some more games here at home. We'll get somebody to do a better job than I can calling this game. And I apologize today that I had a little bit of a coughing fit. Something stuck in my throat, so I had to cough a couple of times. So as the teams meet in the middle, shake hands. We do now know the Dragons will go to the gold pool. They will await Park Hills and either, I believe one pool has Potosi and Farmington, while the other pool has North County and West County. So the winner of those games will be the gold bracket, and whoever the highest seed is remaining will host that gold bracket. So at this point, that's Potosi, who was the 1 seed. If they beat Farmington today, then they will host. The North County Raiders were the 3 seed. If for some reason Potosi would lose to Farmington and they would beat West County, then they would host. But if Farmington and West County would both win, then the St. Genevieve Dragons here would host. So whenever we find more of that out, we'll let you guys know. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a short notice. Again, wish I could have found somebody that does a better job, but you get what you get when you get me. So the Dragons do come out on top 9-1 on a game against the Arcadia Valley Tigers, and they will move on to the gold pool of the MAAA Conference Tournament. So we appreciate you guys being with us, and we'll send more information out if we know we're going to host some more games. So thanks for listening.